Remy. You're a very loving kitty. Look at you back up. Reading by Moonlight, Sacred Geometry, a Pattern of Divine Design by Derek Dodds. I'm on chapter 3, kind of halfway through at least. In it, we start at page 66, Light Body Activation. The aim of using pardon me. The aim of using the Merkaba in our spiritual practice. Remy, back away. I can't read with you, kitty, climbing all about. Okay? Fucking relax, bud. Just relax, your buddy. You relax. Girl. Alright. Derek Dodds, the light body activation. The aim of using the Merkaba in our spiritual practice is to cause the union of our physical and spiritual selves ultimately. As we merge into the divine consciousness, more and more of our physical body is said to be filled with light. This is known as light body activation. In 1995, a book was published by Tashira Tachiren known as What is Light Body?, which talked about the ascension process of the physical body becoming an astral one. According to the book, there are 12 levels in the light body activation process. It takes us through these levels and tells us how to achieve them. The 12 levels are, number one, this is the stage at which you begin to yearn for your true self. You might find yourself opening up to the wonder and joy of the universe and actively seeking it within you. Since the transition from the physical body to the light body requires you to shed emotional, mental, and spiritual weight, this is the stage at which you begin to release anything holding you back. This might include stored emotions, past traumas, and negative thoughts and feelings. Sometimes these problematic energies manifest physically in the form of the flu. Interestingly enough, emotionally, I've been feeling quite releasing, especially in the teary eyes, empathetic realm, especially when it comes to meeting puppies that are sick or dying and people who are tragically in a state of absolute trauma and addiction. Working in San Francisco, going on missions, seeing those types of people just falling over on top of themselves, not able to release themselves from their addictions. Which I totally understand. Okay, number 2, at this stage, you might experience some fatigue and disorientation in your senses. Your flu-like symptoms might also persist. This is because the body works to remove anything that doesn't serve you anymore. At the first level, you might have begun to respond to energies that exist in this world but aren't entirely of this world. At this stage, that feeling will intensify and you will want to investigate further regarding the existence of spirit. At the third level, you begin the ascension process for one. Can I flip this? I'm gonna flip it. Damn it. Remy, flip it for you. I want you on camera. You're so cute. What are you doing? Oh. Anyways, all right. At this first level, you might have begun to respond to energies that exist in this world but aren't entirely of this world. At this stage, that feeling will intensify and you will want to investigate further regarding the existence of spirit. So I'm already past this stage for sure. There is definitely no doubt about the spirit, right? No doubt at all, no faith needed, just utter knowing. And at the third stage, number 3, you begin the ascension process. For one, your physical senses become strong, and so does your sense of intuition or energy. You're now able to start conversing with spirit. This brings joy that fills you in the form of light at a cellular level. Number 4, the ascension process intensifies through chemical and electromagnetic changes in your brain. This is an exciting but overwhelming stage. On one hand, you begin to feel connected to everyone and everything in the universe, everything, everywhere, all at once. Indeed, there's a lot of joy and playfulness that comes with this realization. You also begin to feel lighter, and some people might experience episodes of clairvoyance. On the other hand, this is a period of intense energy downloads, meaning you might suffer from blurry vision, hearing problems, and frequent headaches. I think I'm lucky enough not to have ever had to experience any of those symptoms that I can recall. But definitely the energy downloads, intense for sure. Number 5, at the 5th level, we finally begin to uncover the mystery of the self. While we might have offhandedly asked ourselves now and then who we are and where we come from, this is the first time we want an answer. We might also become more interested in interpreting our dreams and subconscious activity during this period. Number 6, the 6th level is key to making us feel supported in this journey and also to help us become guides for others on the journey. Here we might get in touch with souls on the journey with us and get information on what's needed to create the collective destiny we're all seeking. During this stage, you might feel like you're questioning your reality. This is your soul no longer taking anything for granted. Number 7, the 7th level of light body activation coincides with opening the heart chakra as much as possible. This is the emotional stage of the journey. This stage also compels you to revel in the present moment and find joy, love, and playfulness whenever possible, wherever possible. Same thing. And yes, definitely feel as if this is the stage I may be on. Let's continue. Number 8, this stage deals with the growth of your pituitary and pineal glands. When your pituitary glands expand, you feel pressure in the back of your head. Similarly, your pineal gland expansion manifests as pressure between your eyebrows. Since your intuition has grown beyond measure, you will connect to spirit like never before. You will also become more sensitive to sacred geometry that manifests in sound. So yeah, the chanting which I've been doing, Nam Myoho Renge Kyo, is also, I think, in a time dilated way, or in a sense that time really isn't really linear. Kind of emphasized or gave catalyst to the level 7, which is definitely what I've been feeling. And I definitely feel as if the pineal gland is the thing that has been doing that as of now. Number 9, in the 9th stage, your sensitivity to sacred geometry increases. Especially let's mention the sound thing, manifestation. It comes to music. My intuition around music is a very emotional one. I feel those two are tied. Okay. We'll delve deeper eventually, yes. All right, in the 9th stage, your sensitivity to sacred geometry increases. At the same time, spirit is trying to communicate to you that you are a multi-dimensional being. This might manifest in different ways in your physical body. For example, you might feel you become taller or shorter. Similarly, you might experience weight gain or weight loss or gain for no reason. While this might be confusing, you're told that you've begun to merge fully with the source. Number 10, the 10th stage deals with your abilities as a light worker. Since you now possess the ability to work with light, you can now build your Merkaba. This vehicle now transports you across time and space. Exactly. Yes, sir. Number 11. At the 11th stage, your body has transformed entirely into a light body. This means that there has been a complete transformation within yourself. Your cellular system has been renewed, and so has your circulatory system. You can now clearly see the manifestation of sacred geometry within your body. At this level, you are completely one with the source. Number 12, the last stage, is about manifesting a new lifestyle as a light body. This includes finding other souls like yourself, following your divine mission on Earth, and being fully present in the moment. Once you reach this stage, you can live on Earth as a spiritual being, which most of us yearn for. There are certain things to keep in mind when going through this process. Stepping back. So yeah, I definitely have found a mate of the soul, I would say, someone very similar to myself in a whole entirely other physical body and or light body who is transcended and ascended and going through a lot of work in this area, in this field in general. Um, and that to me seems like just a manifestation of what's already been going on in the spirit, and it's just fully manifested itself now. And really that too is another fueling of the system, a catalyst of the thing that I'm going through, that I'm working with and experiencing right now. This was really interesting how time is not seemingly working in a linear fashion, especially when it comes to sound and manifestation. All right. We are programmed to live as material beings in this world. All of us carry potential, the potential, all of us carry the potential to reach our spiritual destiny. But years of conditioning have convinced us to stay trapped in our physical selves. This is why, even when when we begin this process, we face resistance from ourselves. When starting this process, this might deal with physical ailments, emotional and mental fatigue, and so on. This resistance is to be expected and should not keep us from doing the necessary work in this process. We can only achieve our true destiny when our physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves are aligned with our purpose. Excuse me. Our ego is what keeps us fully grounded in this world. It is what protects us by building an image that serves us in a material sense. Whenever you begin to connect to spirit, your ego will come in the way. This means that when we begin our ascension process, we must experience ego death. Anything that separates us from the divine source needs to go. While this process is essential, it doesn't feel great. When we undergo an ego death, we feel an emptiness we might never have experienced. Everything meaningful for us before suddenly stops making sense. We want to distract ourselves, collect ourselves, and feel whole again. However, what we fill ourselves with at this time is what will determine our path ahead. Therefore, at this time, you need to focus on filling yourself with love and joy. Keep it as simple as possible. This is not part of the book. Keep it simple, stupid. Don't add where there is only room for subtraction. So keep it as simple as possible, keeping the momentum building. Therefore, no backslipping, where the word terminology might be. Backsliding, that would be the terminology. Because I've gone through that multiple times and I see how that works, right? So I've been through it. This process isn't necessarily linear. While some people might successfully follow the stages, others might go from one stage to another without any perceived order. Of course, it's important to remember that the only plan that matters is the divine plan. Also, time doesn't exist in the spiritual world like it does in ours. Agreed. Some might take years to complete their activation process, while others might arrive in seconds. Let's also mention those that might literally fall out of their process and then fall back in. This is neither a competition nor a measure of success or failure. Bullet point 4. This leads us to another critical piece of advice. You must learn to trust the process at all times. You might find yourself confused often, not to mention lonely. However, you are far from alone on this magnificent journey. All the help you need is right there with you. All you need to do is ask. Remember that your journey will not look like anyone else's, which is okay. Whatever happens on this path is a result of your own will and intent, as well as the destination you've chosen in collaboration with your guides, your higher self, and the divine consciousness. Remy, you got me itching, baby. A part of working with light involves being a guide for others. As a spiritual being, you will feel compassion and empathy for others. You will also want to change the world for the better. As noble as these goals are, you must remember that the journey begins with yourself. Sacred geometry teaches us that the same patterns within us also exist as the macro at the macro level. There's a reason there for all of us. If we want to see a change in our communities, countries, and the world, we must start with ourselves and our families. This journey doesn't ask us to renounce our physical roles, it teaches us to lead enlightened lives in the physical realm. When in doubt, remind yourself, as above, so below. That's the end of chapter 3. The next chapter is chapter 4, Numbers in the Universe, which I will be continuing at another date and time. But I would like to mention or share the experience I had recently this week when driving to work, minding my business, listening to music, Flying Lotus playlist on YouTube. And I'm sitting recapitulating the conversation I was having with a coworker who asked me what meditation was. And so I sat around thinking about it, giving it some thought, listening to another coworker answer the question, and then, I kind of was thinking about it like meditation. You sit there and you're just addressing the fact that you're having thoughts, and then my interpretation of meditation really, or really the insight that was given to me during this recapitulation was that, which I already knew was just confirmation, is your consciousness, the higher consciousness, your higher self, becomes conscious of your consciousness being conscious of the thoughts you're experiencing in the meditation process. So you're having your linear conception, right? Your base conception that you need to get rid of thoughts, which is what the initial coworker, my number 2 coworker, thought or gave as an answer, is that you just need to sit there and watch the thoughts and then watch them go away as a train. So I was getting a linear vibe. But then the realization really was your higher consciousness becoming aware of the fact that you're experiencing thoughts. And yeah, of course, obviously, you get to a point when you realize the thoughts aren't your thoughts. They're just thoughts you're having. Right? You're experiencing the thoughts, but the consciousness becomes like another dimension in the process of thinking, or whatever I would call it consciousness. So there's another dimension to your consciousness that starts to awaken in there, and that lies your ascension. You don't have a straight line. You have a 4-pointed graph, I would say, something with a height to it or a depth to it. And therein lies that beginning to the ascension process that that kind of happens, it occurs during your process of meditation. If you keep consistently doing it. But it was the really craziest part about that moment was I was reminded of David Lynch's video where he's kind of doing a drawing. He's trying to etch out an image for a person to explain what transcendental meditation actually is. And then I become consciously aware of the fact that the song playing on my YouTube playlist while I'm going to work is actually a monologue from David Lynch. It's called "The Fire Is Coming," and I believe he did a collaboration with Flying Lotus. So that's what I mean by time is really not linear. And I spoke with my friend that I believe is also basically like me in another form, in a sense. We're just so closely the same, while not being actually the same at all. As a female, she's 50, totally different person, totally different journey, but very, very closely related, in that term. And she was basically thinking that maybe I had already manifested that just so it'd be easier to tell the story. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, these are just things that occur, dimensionally, geometrically. There's a pattern to life that can be witnessed once we get to a certain stage in our journey. And everybody's journey is different. Everybody moves at their own pace. There is no rush. It's really best to really cater to the art of living, because it takes time to make a masterpiece of yourself. It doesn't happen overnight, and really only you get to see it. And that's the beauty of it, is that only you get to really see your perspective. Everyone else might think what they want to think, and they might see what they see, and these are things that are out of our control. But our journey is very directly connected to the Spirit, and the Spirit speaks directly to us and shows us things that are just for our eyes. Have a good night. Sleep tight.